What up? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Win Daily family. Week 16, fantasy championships. Oh man, Ghost, any season-long championships for you today?
Yeah, I got two. So hopefully, try and nail them both. One of them is a 2 week matchup in our Win Daily home league there. So looking forward to that one. Gotta sweat it out another week after this one. But in my other league, looking to lock it down.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that league because my team was amazing. Whenever someone dropped Miles Sanders in the beginning, I don't know what the hell was going on, but I picked him up. Thought my team was easily primed for a championship. Never came to fruition. Whatever. I am in my main league with all from high school. I got Jeff Wilson yesterday, and then I have Jarvis Landry. He's one of my top performing players lately, and he's out with COVID, so that's great. That was good. I appreciate the question. I think what I finished 22nd, 51st, and 70th. I think that's all three were in the top, whatever, 50%. I guess that's not saying much. I had two top 25% right on the button, so not bad. It could have been better, but I went all in on T.J. Hawkinson, and he was super low on. That's kind of the stance I took, and he just didn't do much for me. I had a ton of A.J. Brown. It looked like it was Corey Davis today, so whatever. Any season-long questions you guys have, let's go if they're for championships only. So we got Zach right here. I feel like you've asked me this question already today. I'm going with Hurts. What do you think?
Yeah.
I want to say sit up, but dude, Hurts has been on fire. Dallas's deep trash. No Van today and no defensive tackle. Antoine, I already forgot. I just wrote it down, but he's like one of their best run stoppers and highly rated. So Hurts and Sanders should run wild today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, never thought we'd be starting Jalen Hurts in 2020 fantasy season long championships, but here we are. It's a prime matchup. It's a prime matchup. I'm starting him in one of my championships if that helps.
All right, my internet is today. I don't know what to do. All right, can you hear me okay? Like, is it all right?
Yeah, it's a little it's chopping a little bit, but we're good. We're gonna push through.
All right. Well, maybe you have to pay for it. Let's get into this first game. India Pitt. Anybody?
Not really. Nothing really does it for me in this game. This is. I don't know. I don't like the way the Pittsburgh offense is looking. Indy, I mean, Jonathan Taylor has been looking pretty good the past couple of weeks, and they finally freed the man. But this Steelers run D, even without some of their D line out there that have been decimated by injuries, it's still a spot that I'm avoiding. Just better spots overall on in some other games for the rest of the slate. This is a game that I'm fading hard.
With you. I don't think maybe you could play Deontay Johnson, but I think a DFS is still just way too low. So I don't know. It's not for me. I don't want to play this game. Moving on, Atlanta, Kansas City. Everybody wants to play this game. I think Kansas City is in the greatest spot. They've probably been in all year, maybe second to the Jets. That game that Patrick Mahomes went nuts. But Tyreek Hill, I don't know. What do you think about this game?
So this one, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So this is the definition of a smash spot for this KC offense. Seems like every week they're in a smash spot. No matter they could have 26 people on defense against them, and we'd still find a way to play them. They're that good on offense. So CH is ruled out. Mahomes is going to sling it because there's no way they give Lev Bell 25 plus carries out there. It's just this stack handicaps your lineup so hard that you're pretty much dumpster diving. If you're going, because my thought process when trying to play Mahomes was this: I'm cool with it 100% in cash. You run him naked, or even playing him with Lev Bell, like what we were talking about on Sirius earlier today. For those that are listening, or if not yesterday, depending on which region you're in. With Mahomes' price being that high, you need him to go absolutely nuclear to the point where you need to stack him with Hill and Kelsey. There's no point in paying $8,500 on drawings for Pat Mahomes if he's not going to go absolutely bonkers, because Jalen Hurts will somewhat provide a similar point production to Pat Mahomes today, I believe, and unless Mahomes goes nuclear, exactly like what I was saying. So If you're stacking Mahomes with Hill and Kelsey, you're dumpster diving your two other wide receiver positions. Luckily, we have enough value and value spots that are actually good at the running back position, but I'm just not comfortable punting two different wide receivers out there. So that's the one thing that you have to be careful about when stacking Mahomes. If you are doing it, go all the way in. So that's one thing that I could recommend is that if you're going Mahomes, specifically on DraftKings, on FanDuel, it's a bit more doable. Tyreek is overpriced over there, in my opinion, too. But it's more so when we're talking about Pat Mahomes versus other quarterbacks. On FanDuel, it makes a bit more sense. At 9,400, it's nothing too crazy. We saw what Lamar Jackson did last season at these price tags, and Mahomes will be able to get there. It's more so on DraftKings at 8,500, and then you're paying $9,000 for Tyreek Hill, and then you're paying 88 for Kelsey. Man, you're really dumpster diving in those other spots. So if you are doing it, go complete stars and scrubs. Punt your other two wide receiver positions. Load up on some running back value that we're about to speak about. But other than that, make sure that if you are playing Mahomes in GBPs, you're going all the way in and hoping that KC goes absolutely nuclear. Other than that, on the other side of this game, I'm really high on Russell Gage. He's just been getting it done with Julio out of the lineup. He's seen close to double-digit targets every single week. The receiving yardage production is there, whether it comes in garbage time or it comes in some crucial situations. Russell Gage seems to be that number 2 option for Matt Ryan. We know that they don't like to pass to their running backs, whether Todd Gurley's in there, Ito Smith is in there, Brian Hill is in there. Doesn't matter who's out of that backfield, they do not like to pass to running backs. So you're looking at guys like Calvin Ridley, obviously in a smash spot with Julio remaining out. But you know the way Stix and I do it is that we tend to not gravitate towards Calvin Ridley because he's going to be able to draw double coverage. And when you're looking at Calvin Ridley specifically in this matchup against KC, he's got Tyrann Mathieu to deal with downfield. You know that Tyrann Mathieu is going to be able to provide some support to their other cornerbacks. So Tyrann Mathieu is somewhat of an X factor in this game for me, and could possibly limit Calvin Ridley's production to the point where he doesn't pay off to his price. Is he still going to get his, possibly score a touchdown, 50 to 60 yards? Definitely doable. I think that, you know what, he's virtual lock to be able to get that many yards and possibly a touchdown. But that being said, to be able to pay 8,700 on FanDuel and 8,500 on DraftKings, you need him to go nuts to the point where, you know, he's possibly putting up 29 points, 30 points, 32 points, similarly to what we saw in the past 2 weeks. So for me, it's going to be a quick pivot down to Russell Gage. You take that $3,000 savings at the wide receiver position, you still get a key component of that offense. It's not like you're pivoting to a guy like Christian Blake or Zacchaeus or any of these other other secondary pieces. So for me, it's going to be Russell Gage on the back end. I know that Stix is going to mention Hayden Hurst, hopefully when he gets back on here shortly. Hayden Hurst is somebody that, you know what, he did see a slight uptick with Julio out. It's to be expected. I'd just rather go to Russell Gage, who has seen a way bigger uptake than Hayden Hurst. So for me, it's going to be Russell Gage on the back end when I am stacking this lineup. And when I am doing it, I'm doing exactly like what I was saying a couple minutes ago. I'm going all in with Mahomes, Tyreek, and Kelsey to be able to really move the ball. Don't be afraid to play Lev Bell in those stacks as well. Typically, we like to, you know, possibly stay away from quarterback with running back. Obviously, we want to be able to have our quarterback go absolutely nuts and really feed the ball to their wide receiver 1. And then Kelsey, even though he's at the tight end position, he is a wide receiver 1. And in this league, there's no doubt about it. He has the production from a DFS standpoint on both FanDuel and DraftKings, and he leads the league in receiving yards at the tight end position, which is absolutely remarkable. So don't be afraid to go all the way up to Kelsey. And when we're talking about position scarcity as well, there's quite a drop off at the tight end position compared to the wide receiver position with Tyreek Hill versus Travis Kelce. So when we're talking about playing Travis Kelce versus a tight end, like even a guy like Logan Thomas, who is a top 5 tight end option this week, there's still such a significant drop from Kelce down to these other guys than there is from Tyreek to the other wide receivers that we like on this slate.
Ghost, can you still hear me?
Yeah, no, it's way better.
All right.
Unreal. Here we go.
I don't know what I tried to go direct connect. I don't know what the hell's going on. I was on Sirius all day in the same office with Wi-Fi, getting great speeds. I don't know what's going on, but I had listened to I didn't even do a modem reboot yet, Racker. I went direct connect. I need to do that. I need Racker, my IT guy. But I agree with everything you said about Atlanta. I do want to add a little bit about Hayden Hurst. I know you said I'd talk about him. I just think if you need really, really cheap exposure, if you're going to game stack this one at 3,400, he makes perfect sense against Kansas City, who you could do a lot more production via the middle of the field than on the outside. And I think Calvin Ridley is probably going to get bracket coverage today, so I'm not on him. I know you talked about that. But did you talk about Tyreek Hill? Like, what's the deal there? Is he good to go? I don't get the whole monitor situation. Like,
yeah, it's like they're saying his hamstring should be fine. I mean, he practiced full on both Friday and Saturday. So, but the thing is that you have to be kind of cautious in a situation where, you know what, they could legitimately sit this guy for X amount of snaps and not be scared to lose this game. Atlanta's not really a threat in this game whatsoever. At least that's the way that I'm approaching it. But it only takes a couple plays for Tyreek Hill to go absolutely nuts. He could go back-to-back 80-yard touchdowns and then still pay off at his price. So realistically, Tyreek Hill only needs 2 plays to be able to really get there. But you do have to be cautious. I mean, you're paying $9,400 on FanDuel and $9,000 for a guy that could legitimately sit out at X amount of snaps. Like the thing that I was saying before he dropped off was that if you're playing Mahomes and you're paying $1,500 more than Jalen Hurts, or you're paying $1,000 more than Deshaun Watson, you need Mahomes to go absolutely bonkers. You need this guy to go 404. So you need to stack him with Tyreek and Kelsey, and that handicaps your lineup so much to the point where I don't know if I'm comfortable punting 2 receivers for main line. I will have it in 3 max because the upside of this offense is second to none, no matter what their matchup is, let alone against an Atlanta pass defense. But for your single entry builds right now, I'm looking to get a piece of this game in the form of Kelsey and Gage, but the main stack will not be there on my single entry build.
Sure. I agree. I'm with you. This is a good question. You have access to the beginner games. In this case, the casual games. I think, yeah, right? Like people that have a certain amount of badges or have made X amount of money cannot play in those contests, right? I do not think it's bait.
Yeah.
You're playing against other beginners or other like medium players that haven't really dove in a lot or haven't had a big hit. So I think that's the best advantage you have is when you join DFS. If you start to learn how to build lineups from all the people at Win Daily, all the members, Ghost and I talking about how to build lineups, I think you get a severe edge there, or a serious edge there, I should say, in those beginner contests because you just know how to make lineups. Let's see with this one. Watson, Chubb, Gordon. I love Melvin Gordon. Cooper Kupp, Russell Gage, T. Higgins, Parham, Miles Sanders, Washington, Cash. You like Gage and Cash? I love that lineup. I don't love Parham, but he's 2,500. Like we don't need much at all from him.
Yeah, I'm similar to what I did last week. I'm going all the way up to Kelsey or all the way down to Komet. Pretty much the same thing this week with Parham. I don't mind Gage and Cash. I think the volume's going to be there, and they're going to be chasing points from the moment Kansas City gets the ball for the first time. So,
no, that's a great build. I have something similar. I'm just not. I'm using Mahomes and Cash, but Watson is a close second for me. I absolutely love him today. Moving on to the next game. This one will be quick. Cleveland, COVID, Browns against the Jets. There's literally like, I guess the best receiver for the Browns right now is Marvin Hall, who I didn't even know was on the Browns until last night when someone asked about his projection. I still got to put that up, by the way. It's going to be like 7 points. Like it's not going to be high. I think this is a severe, why do I keep saying severe? Serious bump up to Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt is going to line up at receiver, play the slot. He already does play the slot a lot. So you're getting a receiver and a guy that's going to get 11 to 12 carries at 5,900 on DraftKings. I know Adam is very high in the Kareem Hunt as well. We talked pretty late last night about how much we like Kareem Hunt. I think he is now a lock in my cash game on DraftKings just because, again, he's going to be likely, in my opinion, he's their number 1 wide receiver today, and he's their backup running back. So who gets carries? And so I don't know how you get away from him, especially when Mr. Chalk City himself, Le'Veon Bell, is 5,800. You can go 100 up to a guy that is going to be 75% less in ownership. I don't necessarily think Kareem Hunt is in that good of it, like as supreme as a spot as Le'Veon Bell is, because Le'Veon Bell is on a team with a 32-point implied team total. Odds to score a touchdown are crazy low here. What are they? Minus 145 this morning. So like Vegas loves Le'Veon Bell. Kelsey could get tackled at the 1, Tyreek can get tackled at the 1, Sammy Watkins, whatever the case may be, and Le'Veon Bell could pound in 2 or 3 touchdowns. I don't think that's what happens, but if he's going to be 25% owned, give me Kareem Hunt.
All day. This guy's coming in 5% owned. I don't want him to leave the field, whether he's lining up in the backfield, lining up for screen passes out of the slot. He's by far their best weapon on offense today, given their game script. Obviously, on any given day, it's a real toss up between him and Nick Chubb because when they're able to pound the ball in this Stefanski ran offense, you know that Nick Chubb is just going to benefit the most out of this. But with basically 0 wide receivers active today, Kareem Hunt is the guy out of this offense. 5% owned on both sites. I'm gonna have a ton, that's for sure. And he will be in my cash lineup, even though he's only pulling 5% ownership. We talk about getting different in 1 to 2 spots, maybe even 3, to be able to jump all those lineup trains, like what we call, where people have the exact same lineup and you just need to be able to beat those. And the likelihood is that when you end up beating those, you end up cashing. So Kareem Hunt is going to be that guy for me today on both sides.
Yeah, I love it, man. Any love for Nick Chubb? I know when this news came out, it seems like his ownership just doubled because he's probably going to get 30 carries. So I absolutely love Nick Chubb too. It's just kind of a price in ownership game for me is why I like Kareem Hunt just a little bit more. I'm not saying he scores more than Nick Chubb. I don't think many people on the slate scored more than Nick Chubb today, but he's going to be 25% owned. It's more like, do you even like Chubb in cash at that price?
No, not at that price. Like on FanDuel, I'm locking in David Montgomery as one of my running backs, pulling even more ownership than Nick Chubb right now, only $100 less. So you have to play the ownership game there. Better game script, playing a Jacksonville team that honestly might score 3 points today, if that. So for me, I'm locking in David Montgomery over on FanDuel. The price is just too much for Nick Chubb for me in this spot. The ownership is going through the roof, and this Jets run defense is not exactly a joke. If the 2 game scripts were flipped where they were playing Jacksonville, then I wouldn't have a lineup without Nick Chubb. I mean, no matter what his ownership's going to be, if he's 50% owned, 50% of the field is dead because you have Nick Chubb with no active wide receivers going up against Jacksonville. Great, but against the Jets, it's going to be more of a leverage fade than me. The raw points will be there, but just at that ownership, give me Kareem Hunt for $2,000 cheaper.
I'm with you there, man. Here we had a lineup. Or anything on the Jets side? Sorry, before we get to this question. I mean, Crowder, he was popping for me most of the week. And by popping, I mean he's 4,500 and he's probably going to get 5 catches on DraftKings. That's a pretty solid floor for a guy at that price. But now with no Cleveland receivers going, I think the pace of this game is just going to be absolutely disgusting. Like I said, I think Chubb carries it 30 times. Hunt's going to carry it 10 to 12 times. They're going to dump down, check it to, Hooper, Harrison Bryant, probably Njoku too, Kareem Hunt. I just think this game's going to be over in 2.5 real hours. Just maybe 2, maybe even less. I don't know. Just run the clock. It's just an ugly game. You could even play the Jets just because I don't think Cleveland scores that much. Play the Jets defense is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
So do you like Crowder at all or any Mims, Perriman, anything like that? To me, it's such a small slate. I don't want to invest in any of that shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm more so on the side of completely fading. If I where I have Jets exposure is actually to their defense, as weird as that sounds, just because like you said, even though it's not the best defensive unit, it's not like they're the worst either. And it's not like Cleveland's going to be able to run up the score in this game, and the pace is going to be ridiculously slow to the point where even the points allowed aspect, where they end up getting their negative points, it's not going to be crazy. That Baker in these situations, he's looked great the past 4 or 5 weeks, and I would have been all over the Cleveland passing attack should Rashard Higgins and Jarvis Landry have been active. It would have been a nice stack at a value price, but with him throwing to guys like Marvin Hall, who's maybe had 1 or 2 practices with the team and a bunch of dump offs, I can't see them putting up too many points. This game's going to sail under, and it's going to be ridiculously slow. So if I am getting exposure to any side on the Jets, it's going to be their defense. Just punt it all the way down to jam in as many high-priced skilled players as I can.
Yep, 100% with you there, man. All right, let's get some lineups. Mahomes, Melvin Gordon, Miles Sanders, Russell Gage, Michael Gallup, Tyron Johnson, Kelsey, and
Mike Williams.
Yeah, let's go. I don't like the double stack of the Chargers without Herbert. If you're playing Tyron Johnson and Mike Williams, the only way they have ceiling games is if you're using Herbert. And one, I don't like Teron Johnson. I think that's bad chalk today. Do you know what his ownership is now? I took him out of my player pool. I'm all Mike Williams if I'm going to to the Chargers. I don't love the Chargers at all today, but with how much I love Melvin Gordon, it makes perfect sense for me to just run it back with Mike Williams and just hope that there's no defense in this game and they just go back and forth all day long. Yeah. So Mike Williams is my guy. I would get off. What is Johnson's price, too? Like I said, he's out of my player pool. 1 second here. Sorry. Took this all out. Tyron Johnson's 4K. Oh, hell yeah, dude. I would rather find a way up to T. Higgins there. You could drop Carolina D down to the Jets, maybe, if you have extra money. Or AJ Green. Like, I think AJ Green's in a better spot than Tyron Johnson. But if you got a gut feeling, like if you liked what you saw out of Tyron Johnson, he was certainly good last week. But I don't know. I don't see it. But without Hunter Henry too, man, I don't know. That's a tough situation for me to. You got any knowledge on that Chargers thing? To me, it's just I want the guy with the most upside, and that's Mike Williams.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that Herbert's going to have to stretch the field. The dump off targets are likely going to go to Austin Eckler. I mean, they're not going to run Johnson or Guyton or any of these other guys up the middle the way Keenan Allen did. Like Keenan Allen is one of, if not the best slot receiver in the entire league. So like to be able to replace that, especially that production on third down, Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry are not only the two most targeted guys on the Chargers on third down, but two of the most in the entire league. So they need that production to go somewhere. The dump offs are likely going to go to Austin Eckler there. I'm looking for Mike Williams to be able to stretch the field. And when we're talking about Johnson and Guyton, I mean, those are two guys that like to stretch the field also. So give me the bigger, more talented. Yeah. Like give me the bigger, more talented wide receiver there, and Mike Will. Guyton would be my number two. And then if you're looking for that safe option, it's going to be Eckler. But just in that lineup again, when you have Mahomes with only Kelsey, that's what I was talking about like maybe 5-10 minutes ago, where if you're paying $8,500 for Mahomes, you need him to go absolutely nuts. So just having him with Kelsey, you got to hope that like there's a lot that you need there for it to go in your favor. And that's Kelsey to be able to score 3 to 4 touchdowns and for him to go absolutely nuts, and Mahomes only targeting him in the red zone. So if you end up running 2 Chargers there, just make the pivot to Herbert, hope that he keeps up with Mahomes, and then that's how you'll be able to gain leverage over the field in the GPP.
Yep, that is great advice. We're not saying we love Herbert by any means, but for that lineup you have Kabloom, I think that's the way you go to kind of maximize that value. Austin Hooper, we did kind of forget about him. You got any love for Hooper? I think he's safe for like cash. I don't want any pass catcher besides Kareem Hunt for the Cleveland Browns. I just don't see them airing the ball out. Like if you're playing Hooper, really he's only going to do much for you in a GPP if he scores 2 touchdowns, which is possible. But then you got guys like Harrison Bryant and David Njoku that also get snaps in the red zone. So I don't know. I'm not on Hooper, especially if he's going to be popular.
Yeah, this is the exact same situation to when you asked me about Houston. We don't play running backs in timeshares. I'm not playing a tight end that's in a timeshare no matter. Even with 0 wide receivers active, I'm still not playing a tight end in a timeshare. Because it could go to Njoku, it could go to Harrison Bryant, it could go to any one of these guys. I'm not playing a tight end where there's 3 legit tight ends that get 25% or more in snaps.
All right, Haskins expected to start. Was it due to Gibson, Logan Thomas, McKissick? I think Gibson and McKissick are just way overpriced. I don't know how they are on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, they're both over 6K. So hell to the no from me. We got anything on FanDuel for them? We'll get to that game too, though.
Yeah, on DraftKings, it's going to be a hard pass for me, but I do like Gibson on FanDuel. He's only $6,600, $200 more than Lev Bell. So when we're talking about the Kareem Hunt pivot range, to an extremely chalky Lev Bell on FanDuel, because typically you these high end running backs mostly fall between the $7,200 to $7,800 range, other than these guys like Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook and CMC that are always close to 10K. But when we're talking about that elusive 7K range, the David Montgomerys, the Austin Ecklers, when you get somebody under 7K, it's dirt cheap, and people are recognizing that. Lev Bell is extremely chalky there. Quick pivot over to Antonio Gibson. Absolutely love him on FanDuel today.
All right, let's go. Let's get a couple more questions in. Where are we at here? Sorry, there's a bunch. All right, Millie lineup. Patrick Hunt, MG3, Gage, CD, Moore, AJ Green. Moore just seems really random there. Other than that, I love it. Kelsey, Mike, Jags defense have 5K. Would you put Mike Will, Sammy? Would you play Sammy there? Because if you're, like you said, with Patty, Patrick Mahomes, you want the double stack, right? Because you want to maximize his value.
Yes, absolutely. So,
move more
I know we already touched on that game, but if you have to find a way to double stack Mahomes if you're playing him. I would not play Mahomes without a double stack. You need this guy to go absolutely nuts. You need Lev Bell to not get any touchdowns.
All right. I think if the game gets out of hand, they'll sit their starters, but not to start. But that's a really good question.
They still need that number one seed. Only one team gets a bye this year, right? So,
we already did 1 million lineup. We'll get back to you, Brian, in a second. Does Eckler ownership drop on DK with Hunt being said? I think it goes up, right? Do you think that? How do you think the field reacts to Keenan being out? In my opinion, it's like Eckler, big bump up. Eckler or Mike Williams to me, but
Eckler's actually been going up over the past 24 hours. So
I think
it's an interesting movement that we're seeing. A lot of people typically flock to I guess we could say the replacement guy in the injury, even though Kareem Hunt is primarily out of the backfield and their wide receivers are all out with COVID. But with Keenan out, everybody's flocking to Austin Eckler.
I think it's a great spot for Eckler too. What about stacking Montgomery, Chubb, and Hunt? I wouldn't play Chubb and Hunt together because, again, the pace of that game. If this was like a shootout where they were playing the Kansas City Chiefs or something like that and they had to keep up the pace, I would go Chubb and Hunt. But not for me. How about you?
That's a showdown play. Chubb and Hunt together is a showdown type of thing where we get different, but not in a main lineup.
For sure. All right, DK Cash, Hurts, Hunt, MG3, Cup, T. Higgins, Mike Williams, Andrew Sanders, Washington. I love it. I absolutely love it. I would love if you can get Mahomes as your quarterback, but Hurts is probably a close second. What do you think there? Like, I don't want to make a cash lineup without one Chief. So it's like, if I'm not playing Kelsey, I think I want Mahomes, but am I just too heavy on the Chiefs today? Like, for cash, I'm saying for GPP, I think you could definitely fade these guys. But
yeah, no, that's the exact approach that I was going to say, is that you have Hurts and Sanders together. Yeah, you have Hurts and Sanders together. If you want to keep Sanders, go from Hurts to Mahomes. If not, you gotta fight. If you're keeping Hurts, I wouldn't play Sanders, especially in a cash build, because very rarely would Hurts throw to Sanders. I rather that in a GBP where you play Sanders and you hope that Hurts doesn't run them in, and Sanders is going to go bonkers today. So if you're coming off Hurts to be able to get to Mahomes, get a piece of that KC game one way or another, I'm with Stix. I'd like to keep Sanders in that cash lineup and then go from Hurts to Mahomes.
Yep. There you go. I love that build, though. I have something very similar, but Mahomes is my quarterback. I'll just tell you that. Bryant Love, no. He could score a touchdown. Any love for Gibson? To me, he's overpriced, but on FanDuel, like Go said, he's a much better price over there. Thoughts of stacking running back, wide receiver in the Millers. If it's a team that passes to their running back a lot and they play just crazy up pace, so I think Philly, you could do that. They don't necessarily dump down as much to Miles Sanders, but he's starting to get 85-90% of the snaps. So I think he's in for 3.5-4 catches. You could play my team today, the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll get to that. You could play Giovanni Bernard, Brandon Allen, and T. Higgins or AJ Green, and then you could fit the world of studs in that lineup. But we'll get to that. Hunt and GPPs, absolutely. I think he's just kind of an elite play for me on DraftKings. Hunt over Melvin Gordon, I can't go against the meme guy, so no, but they're pretty close. I like getting both of them together. It's just really good value. Jets and Higgins. That's right, Higgins. Let's go. All right, moving on. Next game, New York, Baltimore, the Giants. I don't want anything to do with this game besides Mark Andrews. Why is this dude so low in ownership? Can you explain that to me?
I don't know why nobody's playing this guy.
5% owned, and he's under 6K on DraftKings. So Kelsey's going to be 30% owned, maybe higher. And a guy with, I don't want to say as high of a ceiling. Maybe as high as a ceiling, not as high as a floor, but Andrews needs to be priced over 6K. I think that's a great spot for Mark Andrews at 5,700 against New York. Their linebackers kind of suck. I know Jabril Peppers is a stud, but what are they in terms of DVOA against a tight end? They rank 24th, so towards the bottom. I mean, and it's Mark Andrews, guys. What do you think there? That's the only guy I'm interested in this game is Mark, and maybe a little Lamar Jackson. If you like Lamar today, he's under 10% owned. I think Ghost, we've said it every single live stream, when Lamar's under 10% owned, you got to look at that. What do you think here? Is Lamar like the GPP winner? Who wins a milli today? Who's the quarterback of the Millionaire Maker?
I was gonna say Lamar. And the reason why was the reason why was this is because it could have a very similar lineup structure. You know, you have Mahomes with his tight end and Kelsey. You have Lamar with his tight end and Mark Andrews. Again, I'm gonna keep going back to that example. You have Mahomes with Travis Kelsey. If they don't go absolutely nuts, you have Lamar with Andrews for $3,000 cheaper. Jabril Peppers plays so much time in the box, and he has one of the highest blitz rates with Jamal Adams from the safety position, that Mark Andrews is going to be that safety blanket. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Bus, Mark Ingram, and any of these running backs are going to have trouble running on this Giants run D. We've seen it from week to week. We're now 16 weeks into the season. It's not like it's going to change anytime soon. There's going to be a lot of RPOs from Lamar Jackson. He's going to run at least one in, if not two. Mark Andrews is going to catch one. This is a very high upside spot for a team that needs to win out in order to make the playoffs. So I'm expecting a very angry Lamar 2019 version of Lamar here, where he goes absolutely nuts on the ground. 100+ on the ground for Lamar with a touchdown. That's the call today. I'm going to have one lineup with him and Mark Andrews for sure.
I love that, dude. Exactly what you said. It's the chalkiest pairing on the board today is Mahomes to Kelsey. You can get similar upside at, what'd you say, $3,000 less, and just criminally low ownership in Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. I'm in. You talked me in. Like, I was like on the fence. I was going to be like, in my 150 builds, I was going to go like on the field with Lamar. I was going way over on Mark Andrews, but I didn't like Lamar as much. But it is a must-win game for Baltimore, especially with Miami winning last night. Like, that whole division's kind of a toss-up right now, or the whole AFC. I'm sorry. Let's go. I think that's just an amazing spot. Do you want to run it back with anybody in New York?
Possibly Darius. Like, I know Rocker's been talking about Darius Slayton, so I told him I would mention him. If you're running it back, if you're running it back, that could possibly be the guy. Rocker was talking about Darius Slayton as a possible sleeper, so I told him I'd mention it on the show.
All right. Well, I didn't talk to you guys last night. It makes me feel good because I bet the Darius Slayton over receiving yards. So nice. All right. I do like that matchup. He's got a ton of air yards lately. I don't necessarily live and die by air yards, but if we like Baltimore to score a ton of points, then New York's got to do something. Moving on to, let's get a couple questions here. All right, I did see this out of the corner of my eye. Small field GPP. So here's what I would do. In a small field, I don't think you need Russell Wilson because no one's going to play him. Actually, I really like this idea you did here. This is a big field GPP. I would say Harrison Bryant and Laviska Shenault could literally get you combined 2 points. So I would get off that. And Jonathan Taylor, I would probably get off that. I do like how you paired it with the Colts defense, but I know Gio ran through this Pittsburgh defense last week. I don't know. I just don't see it happening again. A lot of sharp money came in on Pittsburgh hard. I know we took them earlier in the week at +2 when I was on the show with Michael. Now the Pittsburgh, I think, is favored by 2. At home, I don't know. I don't want to pick on Pittsburgh defense. And Jonathan Taylor's price is just too high. He splits time. Like, I just think you need to go down to like Melvin Gordon there or Kareem. You already have Kareem Hunt. Yeah, go to Melvin Gordon or go to Miles Sanders, one of our elite plays, or find a way for like David Montgomery. You can drop your defense down a little bit. But Bryant and Shenault, that's probably a no for me. In a small field, like, just no chance, right? In a big field, you could go that. That's disgusting. That could win the millie. But in a small field, Harrison Bryant and Shenault, no way.
Yeah, I would go Melvin Gordon or Jonathan Taylor, especially now I'm seeing his price on DraftKings because it wasn't really somebody I was looking at all, and I just took a second look at his price. It's absolutely ridiculous on DraftKings. So That's going to be a hard pass for me. I'm going to go from Taylor to Gordon in this lineup, swap $2,500 tight end for $2,500 tight end and Parham. So you have the Gordon to Parham little mini game stack, and then upgrade. You'll be able to upgrade Chenault roughly $1,000, and you could come down on Colts D since you're not playing Jonathan Taylor anymore. So you could punt defense if you want, all the way down to the
that's it, right?
That's it exactly. We'll talk about that game. I like Woods over Cup, but that's another spot that you could get different. If you want to play both, I'd punt all the way down with Jets D, swap Bryant for Parham, and then use all those savings. You're roughly saving $2,200 in that lineup to upgrade Chenault.
Love it. Moving on, my favorite game of the day, and it's disgusting. I do want to talk about it, but Cincinnati Bengals going to Houston Texans. Let me just make sure that. All right, DraftKings finally moved the line. I did. If you're in that betting sheet with me, I did put a little note in there this morning that DraftKings was still sitting at 44. So they're idiots. That total should be around 47. Love this game. I think Brandon Allen goes 3x. Actually, let's say no, 3x isn't even that ballsy of a call. That would put him at like 14, 15 points. I think Brandon Allen gets close to 20 points today, the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. And the value on this slate, according to the 80 model, didn't love this game in general, but Eric Murray's out too for the Texans. He's their safety, he's probably the best player on that defense outside of J.J. Watt. You got Giovanni Bernard, who just had 23 carries. Seems like Zach Taylor just is going to keep him everywhere on that offense. And Brandon Allen likes to check down a lot more than Ryan Finley does. Ryan Finley doesn't really pass the ball. He's more of a running quarterback. So Brandon Allen's back. That's a bump up to Giovanni Bernard, who should be like mid 5K. Like he should be priced with Melvin Gordon, but he's 4,800 on DraftKings. So it's way too cheap. Love that. He's going to be around 10% owned. Then AJ Green, we all know Tyler Boyd is out. I don't love AJ Green by any means, but I want a plus matchup if I'm going to go down to the 3K range and an up-pace game. Zach Taylor throws the ball almost 40 times a game. We didn't see it last week. That obviously hurt their season averages. The 2 or 3 games that Finley has started, that's really hurt the Cincinnati pace a little bit with their averages. But if you take out that, when it's just Brandon Allen and Joe Burrow, this team throws the ball so much. That is something I want, especially against an awful defense in Houston, who ranks 28th in overall defense DVOA. And what are they against the pass? Second to last, 31st, and it's bad. So, and they're just horrible against every single wide receiver 1s, 2s, 3s, whatever. So AJ Green, T. Higgins, elite spots for me. T. Higgins is now like 30% owned. So lock him in your cash games. And Texans defense is going to be 15% owned. I think the easiest leverage on the day is stacking up Cincinnati Bengals and then getting like Kiki Kuti or David Johnson or Brandon Cooks on the back end. And dude, just do it. Just right now, if you're listening, make a little stack real quick on your phone, whether it's the early only slate, if you don't want to get too gross and trust Brandon Allen. Just start a lineup with Brandon Allen, Giovanni Bernard, and AJ Green, and just see what you can afford. You can go get every piece of every game that you want. So that, to me, I love that. And again, Brandon Allen he's going to go for 20 points today. There you go. That's my guarantee of the day. That no one else in this industry will talk about. Brandon Allen, 20 points. I'll do it. If not, if he gets to 18, cut me a break, but 18 minimum, but I'm guaranteeing 20. Ghost, sorry, I just went on a rant there, and I love Deshaun Watson on the other side too. So you can go Watson and Kuti and David Johnson. There's that running back wide receiver stack someone was talking about earlier, and same with Giovanni Bernard and T. Higgins or Gio and AJ Green. I need to take a breather, but I'm amped up for this game, and I hate it, but it just affords me Travis Kelce everywhere that I need to be, and all the running backs I love so much.
Yeah, this is a greasy game. I mean, wow. But these are the games that we target. Week 16, week 17. These guys have absolutely nothing to play for. You think they're going to go out there and play D? Like we've seen it from season to season to season. It's always these week 16, week 17, and with these greasy games that we end up stacking. And let us remind you that week 16 last season, you played a certain Cincinnati Bengal that won us thousands and thousands of dollars. And then here we are.
It was Joe Mixon week, wasn't it? All right, I'm a Bengals fan.
That was Joe Mixon week, season 2019. We ended up making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and here we are, week 16, 2020, stocking the Bengals again with Brandon Allen. So you know what? It's greasy. Disgusting. It's greasy, but you know what? It's gonna get the job done. I mean, this game will have zero defense. These guys are not gonna want to play defense. The Bengals played well on D last week because I know people are probably listening saying like, well, what about last week? They ended up shutting down the Steelers. Division games are completely different, and they did that purely to spite the Steelers to be able to not get that number one seed. Like that is a pure rivalry game in a game that virtually means nothing for the Bengals. They wanted to go out there and just play the role of spoiler, and they really lived up to it on the defensive side of the ball. This week, there's no stopping Deshaun Watson. I absolutely love Kiki Kuti. I think I mentioned him maybe 15 times on Sirius yesterday. I was listening to the show after, and I was like, man, this is this is interesting. Like we ended up talking about him so much, but he did the red zone outside there is huge.
Yeah, Mac Alexander's the black one. He's bad, dude. I thought he was a backup, but no, he's starting.
Oh man, this is a textbook matchup for Kiki Kuti, and the red zone upside is there. Watson loves targeting this guy in the red zone because Brandon Cooks just doesn't have that ability to run these quick routes. He likes to stretch the field. So I'm loving Kiki Kuti. You could stock this game all over the place and get key pieces of the KC Atlanta game and still make a very solid lineup.
Hell yeah. Run it with Deshaun Watson. So run Kiki, David Johnson. I don't love David Johnson as much. I know Jason, our founder here, absolutely loves David Johnson today. And it's just, he says like a gut feeling. I don't think he actually like wants to love him. He just goes, why do I have a feeling? David Johnson goes nuts. He went nuts last week, catching like 10 balls, but I don't think that's going to be the case today. I think David Johnson could run for 65, 70 or score. So I think you could stack this, just full game stack it. Like go Deshaun Watson, run two pass catching guys, David Johnson included in that mix, and then run it back with two Houston or Cincinnati guys. Giovanni Bernard, probably Giovanni and T. Higgins, my favorite, but if you need savings, AJ Green. Oh yeah, we love that game. Let's get some questions in here, Ghost. Mahomes, Montgomery, Melvin Gordon, Robert Woods, Cam Sims, T. Higgins, Kelsey, Bernard, DFS cash. Dude, my first cash game had two Bengals, and I thought it was disgusting, but I like this. Cam Sims is probably going to be in my lineup. I don't like Robert Woods as much for cash. Do you? I think I'd rather try to way to get that to Allen Robinson, who we'll talk about in a second here, or go down to, I don't know. Who do you like there? Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp's got the better matchup. I know you and I are going to disagree there, it sounds like, but I don't know. I'm not going to tell you not to play Woods. The guy's so involved in that offense. So
yeah, that's the thing, especially on if this is for DK, then you end up getting so much volume with Robert Woods. This guy is the definition of a PPR wide receiver, and he has value just on his volume alone, and he carries the ball too. And with Cam Akers out, everyone's going Henderson and possibly even Malcolm Brown. Don't be surprised if Robert Woods ends up running one in on the sweep route. It would not surprise me in the least. This guy's Sean McVay schemes his offense purposefully for Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. So I don't mind Robert Woods in cash right now. I'm highly concerning it myself as well on FanDuel, just because of the $7,000 range is kind of no man's land over there today. So you either have to go all the way up or all the way down. But Allen Robinson would be the guy there for the safest play. I'm just worried about playing two Bears in a game that it's going to get out of hand rather quickly.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm sorry. You do have Montgomery. Don't double stack the Bears there, but yeah, I like that. Sammy over Moore. Stay with Mike Williams and upgrade defense. I like Mike Williams. Yeah, I don't remember that lineup as much, but I think you could always try to see what 1,300 gets you. I think defense would be the last thing I upgrade, but if it makes a lot of sense for your lineup, if the floors are good everywhere else, let's go with that. DK, Mahomes, Gordon, Bernard, Woods, Kuti, Gage, Hooper, Sanders, Washington defense. I'm assuming that's a cash build. I like Hooper for cash. I don't love it, but I like it. That's pretty damn good. What do you think?
Yeah, that's strong. I like
anything with Gordon, Bernard, and Sanders as a trio. I'm going to be interested in today. Really engage in DK cash or one or the other. Yeah, definitely one. what's your call there? I would take Gage because of savings.
Yeah, I'm going Gage. You're saving $3,000, and if really doesn't get you a crazy performance with 25 plus, that price tag won't pay off.
Agreed. GPP. Brandon Allen, David Johnson, Jonathan Taylor. I don't think you need Jonathan Taylor at all today, but especially with this build, like Brandon Allen's going to be 0% owned. Higgs, who's Higgs? Oh, okay. Allen, Johnson. I don't like Taylor in that, but I get it. Kiki Kuti, AJ Green, T. Higgins, Kelsey, Gibson, Colts. I don't think you need Taylor and Gibson. Both those guys are going to be so low owned, and they're in pretty tough matchups. I would love it if you can go Taylor, Gibson, make that Sanders and Melvin Gordon or Sanders Hunt. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm
love
also
the rest of it. Love the core of that. That's gross,
Yeah.
but that could work.
I would lose David Johnson in that lineup if you're. I always like to run it back with a wide receiver, unless the running back is a Derrick Henry, a Dalvin Cook, somebody that's gonna be so involved in that offense. I'd rather go with Kiki Kuti and swap your running backs, possibly all three of them. You could afford to eat a lot of chalk in that lineup.
Or you can get okay. So I would say I love this lineup, dude. I'm probably gonna make something similar. So I would say take out David Johnson, Taylor, and Gibson. So get rid of all three of your running backs and then make it 3 out of these 4. Sanders, Hunt, Le'Veon Bell, and Melvin Gordon. Yep, Melvin Gordon probably being the key for me there. But if you don't trust Hunt, go with Le'Veon Bell, and Sanders is our upside guy.
Or if you you could even go Lev Bell running back. And if you want to go really spicy, you could go Russell Gage in the flex to get a Lev Bell, Kelsey, Russell Gage game stack.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, stacks in one. A lot of options that way.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Brandon Allen offers the world. You can get.
You're gonna make me build a Brandon Allen lineup.
When you look at this lineup, so if you trust that I say Brandon Allen's going for 18 points, the only downside in this lineup is potentially AJ Green, and he's in a great spot. So yeah, he's the guy that could maybe get you 5 points and would piss you off. The rest of that lineup's going for double digits, so it gives you a chance. Any concerns about playing Cheetah with the hand? I don't know. I don't like Tyreek Hill as much today. It scared me, but if it scares the field, then maybe I'm interested. But I don't know. He's just so damn expensive.
If he was 6% owned instead of 26% owned, I'd have a ton. But at 26% ownership, highest wide receiver on the slate, highest price on the slate, and a matchup that'll get out of hand by the end of the first quarter, it's a hard pass for me.
All right, Chicago, Jacksonville. We got to kick it in the ass here a little bit. We'll get some more questions into. Really, all I care about is Allen Robinson and David Montgomery. You can play Trubisky if you want. Double stack them with Mooney and Robinson. That's great leverage off of a 40% owned David Montgomery. Is he an elite play for you? To me, he's not. I get it. There's no one with the workload he has. I just personally, it's a vendetta for me. Maybe this is bad practice, so I don't want to tell you like David Montgomery's a bad play. Just I see David Montgomery's name and I see him as a running back, and I see 7,700 on DraftKings. I can't do it, especially with 4. Like if he was 5% owned, like last week or last week, he was actually pretty popular too. But 40% owned at 7,700, dude. He's not Derrick Henry. That's how I look at it. I cannot eat David Montgomery chalk like that. In cash, sure. I'm not playing him with GPP as much at all. Is that a mistake? Yeah. Like, am I just being dumb? Like being stubborn?
No,
like
I mean we have to
learn. I'm no perfect player here by any means. I get my ass kicked some weeks too. Like it happens, but that's my take this week. Is I'm not playing David Johnson or David Montgomery in tournaments, and I want all the Allen Robinson I can get in tournaments.
Yeah, it's a revenge spot for Allen Robinson too. Going back to Jacksonville. For those of you that
still doesn't have a quarterback though. So
for those of you that so he's going across to the other locker room, same stadium, same crappy quarterback situation, but it is what it is. Trubisky is way better than Nick Foles. Don't at me. That's Nick Foles is not a good quarterback in this league, and Mitch Trubisky leads this offense way better than he does. But I'm playing Montgomery in cash. On DraftKings, I wouldn't play him at all. To be honest with you, even in cash, like his price is just so absurd. Then there's running backs at better spots. Whereas on FanDuel, there's no there's nobody that really stands out to me that's mispriced other than the Chiefs. I mean, Kelsey is a stone cold lock for me, and That's pretty much the only guys that you need. Lev Bell is way underpriced. Darrell Henderson is way underpriced. All these guys are way underpriced. Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon. We talked about a bunch of guys. Austin Eckler's underpriced. Like, there's no need to really eat that chalk outside of cash games, in my opinion. And 7,800 for David Montgomery, you pretty much have to hope that he's the highest scorer at the position, at least on FanDuel. So I could get away from it in tournaments, but in cash, I'm locking him in. He's coming in close to 45% on FanDuel.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
No
like
Jacksonville.
This is still the same David Montgomery that averages like 2.9 yards per carry.
Yep, I'm out. Playing in cash though, GPP, I'm out. But if you love him, like he does grade out incredibly well in the model. Like I'm not going to tell you he's a bad play by any means. All right, this is a great question because it brings me to this answer. Favorite spend up at wide receiver to build around? To me, it is Allen Robinson, under 10% owned, straight leverage off the just massive chalk David Montgomery. Jacksonville secondary is the worst in football, and Allen Robinson gets I think the 80 Mile said it, expected target share of 32% today. So that puts him right around 10 targets today. So the dude doesn't drop footballs either. So let's go. That is my build around. And then the favorite wide receiver value is going to be T. Higgins. And then if you need even more value, it's AJ Green, but it's disgusting. I don't like AJ Green nearly as much as I like T. Higgins. T. Higgins is your upside guy. AJ Green's just kind of meh. How about you? Favorite receiver to spend around? This is a great question. I appreciate this one.
That's for you on DraftKings?
Yeah, do FanDuel for sure, because this kind of this is like an open-minded question. Like this guy wants to build his own lineup, but like, hey, what's your core receiver? I love that. That's a great question, man.
Robert Woods and Russell Gage.
Robert Woods.
8% on FanDuel. 8%.
All right. That's all right. I'm cool with it. I love that game. We'll get to that game in a second. Carolina, Washington. To me, I like Cam Sims a little bit. I'd rather have AJ Green, but Cam Sims is a pretty good upside player. I don't want anything to do with any running back in this game, and I don't want anything to do with any Carolina Panther. This game has a total of 41 or 42. It's just not for me. I'm not playing it. If you need value, Cam Sims is it, but I already explained where I'm going for my value today. You like anything else here?
I'm only playing Gibson on FanDuel. I love to attack this Carolina run defense, but that's it. This game's ugly. Hard pass.
I hope they let Gibson just unleash. I need him so bad in this season long.
They're chasing a division title. Like they're up by one game, so they need this win. Turf Toe does scare me a bit. I mean, obviously he could hamper the fact that he's a running back. Like with Turf Toe, it's definitely not an ideal situation, but guy's a stud. Like he's that good. So and if he was really injured, he wouldn't be playing. They're not gonna sacrifice his future for
God damn it,
they're not going to sacrifice his future next season for a division title to be able to make. I don't even want to say a playoff run. They'll host a playoff game and then lose. So I'm playing Antonio Gibson on FanDuel strictly for the leverage. Lev Bell is coming in roughly 30% owned. Antonio Gibson's closer to 5 to 6%. So the leverage is there. They're right at the same spot. Antonio Gibson against his Carolina run D is definitely in a good spot.
All right, I'm with you. Sorry. Every single morning, my fiance sets the alarm off somehow. She doesn't know. Wake it up, turn it off before you open the door. What are you gonna do? All right, Denver Chargers. I think there's zero defense to be played in this game. Austin Eckler, super popular. I think he's in a really, really good spot. Personally, I'd rather have him than Montgomery. I think it looks like people are just building their lives choosing either Austin Eckler or David Montgomery. I would be on the Eckler side, but for me personally, I'm just going to Miles Sanders. I think he outscores all of them. Melvin Gordon, you know how much I love him. Mike Williams, we talked about the potential. I mean, we talk about him every week. Like one time, Mike Williams, can that be my Christmas present? A little delayed Christmas or like Orthodox Christmas that I think is coming up in a couple days for like Eastern Europeans. I think some of my family's from Eastern Europe, so someone celebrates that. So I do know that. I just want Mike Williams as the president then. Like one time, dude, go off for me. I think I bet his player prop receiving yards over every single week. That's with Keenan there. I don't think they're even going to put. I don't know, dude. You know how much I love Mike
I've
Williams.
never seen
Everybody
somebody live or die as much as you do by Mike Williams. I absolutely love it. You love to see it.
He's a guy. Like, they can't cover him. Like, he literally just go. Like, when he catches a ball, he just high points it like he's getting a rebound. Like, the dude was a stud basketball player apparently too. So
yeah,
throw him jump balls and watch him do work.
Herbert's got a cannon too.
He does,
Herbert's got a cannon. Herbert's got a cannon. So you know what? Yeah, Mike Will. Eckler for cash. Even in tournaments, man, this guy's coming in. So he's coming in over 50% on FanDuel right now. Over 50%.
Alarm company's calling me real quick, so take it over real quick.
Yeah, like for me, Eckler, man, it's a really tough decision. Like you have to be able to get so different in the rest of your lineup to play Austin Eckler on either side today because DraftKings is coming in heavy owned, but it's very rare that I end up seeing somebody this high owned that isn't McCaffrey, isn't Cook, isn't Eric Henry, isn't any of these guys, Devontae Adams at the wide receiver position, 2019 Michael Thomas, like a 50% owned Austin Eckler is something that could be a great leverage spot when we're talking about these 6K running backs, the Lev Bells, the Austin Ecklers. David Montgomery is more expensive, but David Montgomery in that group too. These guys are all coming in 30, 40, and 50% owned respectively. Like that for me is the spot to get different today is at the running back position. And you don't even have to get different by all that much. You could go to Melvin Gordon. You could go to Miles Sanders. And you're not sacrificing the core of your lineup. That's the main thing is that Eckler is $7,000. Sanders is only $300 more. Like that to me is the perfect pivot. Play Mike Williams or else Stix is going to be really upset. So make sure to play Mike Williams.
I just signed a contract. If he doesn't go for 15 on DK, I quit him. I'm done. I signed it.
I love it.
Today's not the day without Keenan. We have games where Keenan's hurt, and we love Mike Williams. Without Henry and Keenan,
I'll give you a bonus week 17 to play him too.
Yeah, son of a bitch. I'll go right back to the well. Mike Williams is my drug.
Yeah, you gotta play Mike Williams in this matchup. You gotta play Melvin Gordon, and another revenge spot for those of you that like narratives as well. No Philip Lindsay.
That's right.
No defense in this game at all. No defense whatsoever.
All right, moving on. Seattle, LA. I said it on XM last night, or in my article as well, too. In Week 10, son of a bitch, what is going on? In Week 10, every single player in this game was like 20% owned. This is a game everybody wanted to stack up. Now no one's touching it. I get how good Jalen Ramsey is, but DK Metcalf cannot be covered. Robert Woods is it's one of Ghost's top plays today. Cooper Kupp's going to be mine on DraftKings because he's just cheaper, and I like that matchup on the inside. Tyler Lockett back at mid 6K range. I think Troy Hill's the cover corner there in the middle, so you kind of avoid Ramsey as well. Both of these teams, like this is a must-win game. This is an energized game, like especially after the Rams I'm going to say they got their ass kicked to the Jets because if you lose to the Jets by anything, you got your ass kicked in football that day. So no way McVay just lays an egg twice in a row. I refuse to believe it. I think this is a really good spot for this Rams offense. We've picked on, like, here's the thing is like we've been picking on Seattle secondary every single week of the football season. You know, like when we just stacked the Bills 3 or 4 weeks ago and they went absolutely nuts. I was on Seattle. Like, why are we not all in on the Rams today, or at least sections of this game? I think if you like, this is a game I really want a piece of. I want a Cooper Kupp, or I want to lock it in every single one of my lineups, or Metcalf if I could afford him, or Robert Woods if I could afford him. I just want a little exposure to this game because I think it's going to go all day long. And without Cam Akers, I think the Rams should pass it. I think, what does it say here? 38 times is what it's projecting for how many times they drop back to pass at a minimum. So that's getting up there with the Brandon Allen range in Zach Taylor's offense, who came from Sean McVay too. So it's a pass-happy offense. I don't think you're going to run on Seattle very well. That is the bright spot of their defense. I know it's been lacking of late, but both these teams, and Russell's been so bad lately. Like, this needs to be a blow-up game for both teams, and I think it's going to be. I think I really like the over here at 47 points. Come on, like, what are we doing here? I hope I'm not wrong. I'm not going to bet the over just because how bad both these teams have looked lately, but 4% owned Russell Wilson and a 0% owned Jared Goff. I think that's a really good place to go, especially on DraftKings. Jared Goff's pretty cheap. What do you think here? And again, because we got to kind of kick it in the ass here, I'm 100% off Darrell Henderson. I'm not touching that guy at 40% ownership. we've seen McVay just feed Malcolm Brown or do other stuff or give an end around to Robert Woods in the red zone. I'm not playing Darrell Henderson. Well, if it kills me, it kills me. I'm not doing it. I'm going to Giovanni Bernard instead.
Like when did Seattle's defense become this good that nobody's playing this game? This defense sucks. Like I don't understand.
Washington just moved the football all over them last week.
Like if this game was X amount of weeks ago, all these guys would be over 30% owned. Now nobody's playing them.
Yep.
Like this to me is the perfect leverage game. I think it goes over, not only over 48, I think it goes over 54, which should be the real total in this game. It should be 50 plus.
It was last time, right? What was it last time? 55.5 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 53 or 54.5. Yeah, around there. And now nobody's playing these guys. But like I don't understand it. Pete Carroll got outcoached by Belichick in that Super Bowl. McVay outcoaches Pete Carroll today, and they get the job done. They don't need playmakers in that backfield. Goff is a system QB, but when that system is Sean McVay, he looks just fine today, and he gets the job done.
All right, let's go. Couple questions here. Trubisky, Le'Veon Bell, Eckler, Cooks, AJ Green, Cup, Ian Thomas. Oh, Logan Thomas. I hope that's Logan Thomas, not Ian. I like it. I think you can move Cooks down to QT. I think we both think he's in a much better spot because William Jackson's probably going to follow Brandon Cooks around. William Jackson is one of my favorite corners. I know he gets burned at times, but he really doesn't have any support on that Cincinnati defense. AJ Green's in a good spot. Cup, I love.
Don't play Texans D with AJ Green.
Yeah, I mean, for AJ, you could potentially do it, but I think just go down to like the Jets, honestly, man, and pay up elsewhere. I love Eckler in there. I haven't seen a cash build with Eckler, but see if you move Cooks to QT and what that does for you. I don't love Trubisky, but it's a good spot for him. He's going to have a good floor, but the Bears just play so slow too. So I'd rather you go to well, you're probably not at the value spot because his price is there. Probably stay with Trubisky then, but move Cooks to QT. I think it'll be all right. Mooney, AJ Green, or Watkins? You go first, Ghost. Don't let me influence you with my Cincinnati shenanigans.
Darnell Mooney. I'm riding Trub. I've been on the Trubisky train for the past couple of weeks. Darnell Mooney gets it done today again.
Oh man, I was gonna say
I don't trust the 80-year-old AJ Green. I can't.
That's fine, but what you don't like Sammy Watkins?
Like, is he gonna get injured in warm up again? Like,
that's very possible. AJ or Sammy Watkins has made a class. Mooney though, all right, that's a ballsy call.
I'm going Mooney. He's our gem. We've been talking about this guy for weeks.
I know.
Gonna come off Mooney now? Come on, dude.
No,
we're going to Mike Will for 16 weeks in a row. We got to go back to Mooney.
All right,
who's actually been producing.
All right, Mooney. I like Watkins. I need to see the rest of the lineup though. Like if it's just a one-off.
Watkins definitely has a safer floor, better quarterback, obviously, better offense, better game script. But if you're looking for a GBP play,
all right, I'm with you. But we're playing.
They're also not really in the same price bracket too. It's kind of tough to be able to compare that.
Oh, those are all way different price brackets. You're right.
Yeah.
Lamar, Sanders, Melvin, Gage, Williams, Slayton, Andrews, Montgomery, Pickett-D, GPP. That's really good correlation. Everybody but, I mean, your one-offs are Gage and Montgomery. That's pretty cool. I don't pick defense, so you choose. I like that lineup. That's going to be pretty low owned. Definitely.
I don't know how much you have for defense, but go all the way down to Jets and upgrade Montgomery to Kelsey.
Dobbins, Dre. Ooh, we haven't talked about Dobbins at all. Do you like Dobbins? I hit 6,200 on DraftKings is way too much. Melvin Gordon, Kareem Hunt, Giovanni Bernard.
Not against this Giants run D. Lamar. It's the Lamar to Andrew show today.
Yep. Haskins is the Miller QB. That's what Dre goes with. Really? Haskins? That'd be wild. What was your call? Your call was Lamar. I'm going to say mine is Brandon Allen, and I'm the holder of that lineup. We'll see.
I'd love to see it.
Gordon or Bernard on FanDuel? Gordon for sure, right?
Fact. Yeah.
Yeah. Bernard's just he's not sexy. His price.
It's not the full point PPR is so different. Like I know people like sometimes it seems like such a basic thing, but it really gets overlooked. Just because a guy's a good play on DraftKings doesn't necessarily mean that he's a lockstep on FanDuel, because that Giovanni Bernard catches so many footballs that the full point PPR benefits him tremendously.
Do I like the Bengals stack on FanDuel? Not as much, no, because Brandon Allen's like 6,600, right? That's pretty normal. It's a low end price, but no.
There's not that many. Like FanDuel pricing is always different because you need touchdown equity, and there's not that many pay up spots. Like you could still get T. Higgins, you could still get Melvin Gordon, you could still get Lev Bell, you could still get all these guys we've been talking about for the past hour with going Mahomes or Hurts at quarterback or Watson. So
agreed. Yeah, I think it's more of just a DraftKings conviction play for me for the savings. All right, last game of the day: Philly, Dallas. Miles Sanders season. I can't believe he's going to be under 10% owned today. I think he is the most upside running back on this slate. He's priced below David Montgomery by a lot. He's priced below Nick Chubb. I think that, like, if you look at the most talented running backs on a slate, it's Nick Chubb and Miles Sanders. So I'm going with the cheaper one, Miles Sanders, much lower owned. Absolutely love this spot. Running back with Amari Cooper, maybe CeeDee Lamb on Nicole Roby-Coleman, but Amari Cooper at 5,700. That is a sexy, sexy price.
I love this game. I actually think you could stack this game fairly well. I would go with an Eagle stack with, like, I'm slightly worried about the Hurts to Sanders correlation, but I think that they put up so many points on the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys defense is atrocious. So like they could put up so many that both of them end up getting there, especially Hurts with his rushing upside. I think you might not even need a wide receiver in that stack. You could just go Hurts and Sanders and just capture all the rushing upside, and then run it back with Amari Cooper. Like Amari Cooper on Slay is a great matchup. Like I don't know how else to put it. I mean, keep it as short and sweet as possible. We've been picking on Darius Slay for weeks now, and no need to stop with a wide receiver as talented as Amari Cooper.
I love it. Any love for the tight ends in this game? Schultz, Ertz, Goddard. I know Goddard's going to be extremely popular. I get it. Like the dude, I like Goddard. He's 3,600. Like you can't go wrong there. But Zach Ertz's snaps are coming up.
Yeah, I just feel like this is Sia ended up mentioning it on Sirius where you could play Brady naked because of how potent that Tampa Bay offense is with AB and Godwin and Mike Evans and Gronk and Fournette and Ronald Jones when he's healthy. The Eagles are the very poor man's version of that. Like if I could put it as nicely as possible. Like there's so many weapons there that can catch a touchdown. Like you have Greg Ward, you have Jalen Reagor, you have 2 to 3 tight ends that could possibly get involved. Miles Sanders is there. Boston Scott refuses to go away. That's a spot where I would be okay with running Hurts and Sanders or Hurts naked. But if I have to choose, I'm taking Goddard. But Hurts' snaps are still on the way up. But he is on the way out in the offseason. So I don't think they're, push comes to shove. I really do think that they lean Goddard.
All right, let's do it. Let's get to some last questions, and actually, let's do our game real quick. I like that dude's question. Whoever brought it up again, top play and then top value. All right, quarterback, top play, top value.
You start off. I'll let you start off.
Oh, well, it's going to be Mahomes and Brandon Allen.
I like it. I'll take Hurts or Watson with Trubisky.
Love that. I was going to say Watson's a close third for me. Top running back, Miles Sanders. Top value, Giovanni Bernard. Melvin Gordon, obviously, you guys know how much I love him, so I don't need to talk about that. But, yeah, Sanders, Gio, both under 10%.
Yep. Sanders, Gio, Gordon, Bell, Montgomery, Eckler, Gibson on FanDuel. FanDuel special, Antonio Gibson.
All right. Glad you said that, man. I'm nervous for my matchup. Top receiver, we already did this one for me. It is Allen Robinson, and then top value, T. Higgins. And Mike Williams. Come on.
Mike Williams. Robert Woods, Russell Gage, Kiki Kuti.
Man, I was not on anybody besides Kuti, so I got to get some more Robert Woods. Tight end.
You know he's going to run one in. One in.
Yeah, I know. Just he better. Travis Kelce, I think, is by far, like, that doesn't help anybody. We're saying Travis Kelce is a top 10. And I think Mark Andrews is severely underowned. So let's go there. And give me Hayden Hurst on the back end of the Chiefs game for the top value. Slight edge over Dallas Goedert. I think Hayden Hurst has a good day.
Give me Man, you took my our Lamar and Mark Andrews call. I'm seconding the Mark Andrews call. I'm going right back to the Lamar to Mark Andrews call. Obviously, not just gonna take the chalk donkey way out and say Travis Kelce, and then low owned play. I'm not going with a low owned play today. I'm going Kelce or Andrews. Every lineup, Kelce Andrews. Pay up at tight end. Load up.
All right, let's do it.
If you want to eat the chalk, go Parham. But that's a chalky $2,500 tight end. That's a hard pass for me.
Okay. 1 second here. All right, let's get some questions and get out of here. Let's see who we not heard from. Here we go. Brad, Mahomes, Bell, Hunt, Higgins. Get Tyreek out of cash, right? Yeah, any concerns with Tyreek? Yeah, for cash, you don't need them.
You have Mahomes, but you have Mahomes and you need Kelce. That's it.
I like the rest a ton. Parham, Eckler, Jets. Like, you don't need much out of Parham at all. He's just to make a lineup be accepted on this site. But yeah, get rid of Tyreek. Maybe go to. I really like if you went to Allen Robinson there and then see what you could do with Sims or Parham. Kind of maybe pump up Sims to Mike Williams or something like. Oh, you got Eckler. Don't do that. Something like that is what I would do though. Yeah, I love that. Thoughts on DK, GPP, Brandon Allen, Bernard, Gage, T. Higgins, Kelce, Miles Sanders. I love this, William. This is great, dude. The Gage and Kelce back and forth. Montgomery is the top play. Got running back for you, I'm sure. And then you get that value. Let's go. And QT dude, let's go. Dude, Brandon Allen goes off. We're at Green Streets. I love it. Do we like Amari Cooper? Absolutely love Amari Cooper today at 5,700. I think that's our third favorite game to stack. Maybe your first. Yeah,
I'd probably put it. It's tough to rank these. Might be my top game to stack. Yeah.
All right, let's fly through these questions. Got to be done like 5 minutes. GPP: Watson, Montgomery, Gordon, Gage, QT, Higgins, Andrews, Colts D. I'm in. You in?
Wheels up.
Wheels up. Let's go. Hurts, Deontay Johnson, Gage. Hurts, Deontay Johnson, Gage, or Hurts? There's 2 Hurts. What do you mean? Reword that.
It's just Hall and Ridley versus Gage and Deontay Johnson. It's Deontay Johnson and Gage. Not even close.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're not playing Martin Hall and cash.
Bernard flex always. Yeah, Bernard flex. Okay, so that was missing in this lineup. Yeah, I'm cool with that for sure. Double Bengal. It's gross, but it works. Joe, we have not heard from Joe yet. All right, Trubisky, Bell, Dobbins, Hall, Deontay Johnson, Robinson, Kelce, Hooper, Eagles. I don't like Dobbins, but if you got a gut feeling, I'm not going to tell you to sit him. Like, go with your gut here, guys. We're not here to get you off of guys. I just personally do not like Dobbins at that price at all.
I agree. Yeah. I'm not similar to what we said with the Ravens game. Lamar's rushing upside is there, and this Giants run D is fairly stout. So I'm off Dobbins. I'm more on Lamar's rushing upside and very heavy RPO offense. Boom.
This is yours. What do you got? I'm biased. So
Jay Reeker or Mike Williams. Stick's gonna go Mike Williams. He knows I always have his back, so I'm gonna go Mike Williams. But Jalen Reagor's a very close second. Jalen Reagor's gonna have a good game today. Great matchup on the outside there. So can't go wrong with Jalen Reagor. I know I'll answer for Sticks. He's gonna say Mike Williams. So always Mike Williams. Taxes, Mike Williams on Sundays.
That's right. All right. This is yours again. Douglas got great questions. I love his questions.
Hurts at QB, you like Hurts naked with T. Higgs or pairing Hurts with Reagor? I'd have to see the rest of the lineup. If you have a Houston piece in there, like Kiki Kuti or David Johnson or Brandon Cooks, one of these guys, I would go Higgs and just run Hurts naked. If you don't have a Houston guy, then if there's one player that I'm pairing that's not Miles Sanders, it's going to be Jalen Reagor. So.
Okay. I know Deshaun Jackson's back, but that should not matter to any of you guys. Please do not play him. Yeah, Amari Cooper's one of my top plays now. Shit, I got to get on him. Yeah, I know Montgomery's been different. It's gross. So, GPP, big deal. Allen, I love it. Already winning. Allen, Gio, Sanders, Kuti, Higgins, Gage.
What a lineup.
Yep, but put Hunt in the running back spot and Sanders in your flex in case you have to late swap or maybe Sanders gets hurt in warm-ups or something like that. It gives you options. Remember, always put your 3 o'clock guys in the flex for 4 o'clock for you East Coasters because everybody thinks the world revolves around New York. Can you pair Melvin and Eckler in cash? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think in cash you can. In GPPs, I wouldn't. No, right. Who are you going here? I like Melvin and Eckler. Their floors are just so high today.
Yeah, you could pair them on the same team. If it was last season where they're both on the Chargers, no. But now going up against one another, you'd love to see it.
DK Cash, Mahomes, Gio, Gordon, Cooper, Gage, AJ Green, Kelsey, Andrew. Ooh, I don't like the double tight end. I don't think you need Andrews there. Can you make that? Who would be in that price range? 55. I always prefer running back there.
Oh, this is cash.
Yeah.
You don't need double tight end in cash. Never double tight end.
Make it Le'Veon. Find a way to Le'Veon Bell or Kareem Hunt.
Go from Coop to. I think you go Coop to Kuti.
There you go. That wouldn't do. I'm cool with that. Otherwise, I'd say Melvin Gordon. Otherwise, I'd say put Melvin Gordon in the flex and put your RB2 to Kareem Hunt or Le'Veon Bell. Just try to find a way to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Go from Coop to Kuti. If you have $0 remaining in that lineup, and then it leaves you $300. You could go from Andrews to Lev Bell or Hunt. I
don't like Hansen. I think we're chasing recency bias there. He hasn't really had that many targets or anything like that. I think QT is our core play for Houston, right?
Yeah.
Let's get QT in there on the other side of your Higgins and Bernard. They're talking together. Hunter Gordon. Again, same question. Gordon for me, but I love both. A-Rob confirmed in. Let's go. To me, no. Not at that ownership. In cash, you could play Darrell Henderson for sure. But, dude, how many times have we thought it's Darrell Henderson week and it's just a shit show between Robert Woods, Malcolm Brown, and Henderson? Yeah, I'm out. I'm not doing it. Here's Dave. Lamar, Melvin Gordon, Hunt, T. Higgins. Oh, this is good. That's pretty damn good.
Ooh, wow.
I love that. Please hit me up on Twitter or in Discord and just let me know how this goes. I'm gonna take a mental picture and just try to follow this lineup. But I love this for the GPP. Yeah, Lev Bell did not completely fade the Chiefs, but yeah, that's really good. Put Melvin Gordon in the flex and move Lev Bell up. Remember, in case anything happens, you don't want to be stuck in the flex or you don't want to be stuck later with just a running back because there's really no other running back that you can put in for Melvin Gordon. Sanders or Hunt? This is you, FanDuel.
If you're not playing Hurts, play Sanders. If you are playing Hurts, play Hunt.
All right. DK Cash early only. Oh, God, I don't know. Trubisky, Bell, Hunt, Gage, QT, Higgins, Kelsey, Kelly. Who's Kelly? Who is Kelly?
I think you wanted to type Kelsey twice by accident, autocorrected it.
I would love to play Kelsey twice.
Oh yeah, he said just Kelsey. I don't know where Kelly came from.
Oh,
okay, that makes sense.
How's Kelly looking?
Yeah.
Lock in Seattle.
Wrestling, paving, and concrete for all your paving and concrete needs.
Yeah, if you can come out to the suburbs of Chicago and try to make me a mini basketball court, that would be wonderful. I would accept a quote. I would accept a bid. Bernard or Hunt, GPP. Ooh, Hunt for me, but I do like Bernard. Bernard's more like, guys, he's not like a core play for me. He's a core value. It's like it just opens.
Yeah, not the same price range either. $1,100 more for Hunt, but
yep, cool.
We're both on Hunt over Bernard.
All right, we really got to get going here, but I can't turn down questions.
Cheap wide receiver on FanDuel. What's the price?
55 or less.
55. You have AJ Green, Sammy Watkins.
Or Slayton.
Darius Slayton. That's about it. Try and bump up. All our core plays are $200-$300 more. You have Mike Williams at 57, T. Higgins at 58, Russell Gage at 58, Kiki Kuti at 61. So The prime real estate is right in that spot. If you could bump your defense down by $300 and still feel confident on your lineup, there's multiple options there. Jalen Reagor also 5,700. Prime real estate this week is 5,700 to 6,100 on FanDuel. Whoever gets those wide receivers right, that's where all the GPP money is going to be made.
Let's go. All right, Steven. He did say Cootie instead of Gage, so he did change. Goff, Sanders, Melvin Gordon, Cup, Lockett, love that. Gage, Kelsey. I kind of think you stay with Gage there, right? Instead of Cootie.
Yeah. You need to Gage the Kelsey.
Theo, Allen, Geo, Sanders, Cootie, Gage, Higgins. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Bears D in there, too.
Very strong.
And then, hey, Theo, run that lineup again. Maybe do like a 3-entry max or something, and then run it with Melvin Gordon instead of Hunt. Just, I do not want one player to kill you there. So run that lineup right here, and then run it again with Melvin Gordon. FD Cash, you.
Mahomes, Gordon, Monty, Higgins, Lamb, Gage, Kelsey, Eckler. Yeah, you just don't need CeeDee Lamb there. Let me see who you could pivot to. Just go. You have T. Higgins. You could go to, again, Russell Gage has to be that guy for me. You already have him in your lineup, so that's good too. Mike Will, just load up on another $5,700 to $6,100 wide receiver. Try and get Cootie if they're in there if you can, but you need a bit more ownership. I much prefer Cooper to Lamb today in his matchup.
Sweet. Sanders and Montgomery. For me, it's Sanders, and it's tough, but that's where I'm going. How about you?
Monty Cash, Sanders GPP all the way.
Let's go.
Especially if you're not playing Hurts, you need to play Sanders.
That's right. All right. Let's TK Cash, Joe. Joe's a good dude. Mahomes, Sanders, Bernard, Cooper, Higgins. If that's your only punt, the rest of that line is pretty damn strong. Do you think Cooper is a must in this one, or would you rather go down to? I mean, that's
Cootie
pretty good.
is so cheap on DraftKings, man. Cootie and Gage are so cheap.
Yeah, he is. I mean, so is Amari Cooper. What is QT? QT's 54, so Cooper's 57. I like Cooper there. I get the slight nudge to Cooper. I mean, Guyton's your only punt. I'm okay with that. I don't love Guyton, but he's going to play 90% of snaps. I'm cool with it.
I don't think that's going to be the difference of whether you get above the pay line or not. The rest of the lineup is so good.
Yeah. And maybe you could get down on, I like that. I don't want to mess with Kelsey Mahomes. That's the best stack there is. Watkins, Hunt, Chubb, Hart. Watkins for me.
Yep.
Cash, Hurts, Monty, David Johnson, Russell Gage, Higgins, Sims, Kelsey, Gordon, Jets. I don't think, don't use, if it's DK, I don't think I want to use David Johnson there. Get that to Kareem Hunt or Lev Bell. For sure, right? Yeah, Lev Bell probably.
I was gonna say you need Lev Bell because you're not playing Mahomes. You need at least we don't have to stack cash, but Lev Bell and Kelsey they're drawing so much ownership, and Kelsey is just the best receiver on the planet right now. So
yep. All right, this is you. I think we got
Trubisky, Gordon, Sanders, Cooper, Robinson, Woods, Andrews, Metcalf, Jets. Wow. Strong. I love that. Right. That's very strong.
Chiefs or short stack. This is my season-long league. I'm going with the Chiefs. That is my team. We'll see what happens. Short stack, I'm playing a guy that's like 5'6", so that's what we call him. Whatever. If you're 5'6", it's not that short. I'm sorry for anybody out there that's short. You can run back Judy for sure. He's super cheap. I would rather go with Melvin Gordon, clearly, but Judy or Patrick as a run back, that game should have no defense, so I like it. DK Cash for John here. Hurts, Bell, like it. Gordon, love it. Cooper, love it. QT, love it. Higgins, I like it all. Put Cooper in the flexo in case you got to move. Remember, Gage should be all your noon guys in the.
That's my exact cap lineup minus one guy.
All right. Reworked Mahomes, Bell, Geo, Cootie, Gage, Mooney. Over AJ Green. Movie over AJ Green. All right, I'm cool with it. Love it. I think AJ Green. I need AJ Green now. I'm starting AJ Green in a season-long championship today. That's how COVID affected my team.
When DFS plays translate to season-long success.
I like that for sure. That's a pretty good build. Eli, confidence level in some of these value punts. Cam Sims. I wouldn't touch Marvin Hall. Cam Sims, I'm cool with. I'd prefer AJ Green, but Cam Sims, I think he's a very talented player. He's got some upside. Any love for Thomas with Haskins in? Anthony or Logan Thomas, I think he's probably going to get 10 to 12 targets again. Wrestling, small field GPP, FanDuel. This is you, and then let's do 2 more and get out of here.
Holmes, Montgomery, Sanders, Mike Wiltie, Higgins, Gage, Kelsey, Gordon, Jets. Yep, that works. You have to chalk with Montgomery. Wide receivers, all the leverage in the world. So nice build.
James Washington, GPP, hell no, right?
I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole today. So.
Yeah, and he doesn't see that many snaps, so I wouldn't do it. Mahomes, Hunt, MG3. No, I like the Mike Will part for sure. Clayton, just go read the articles. Everything's right in there. Last one. Let's get out of here. Sunday through Monday. This is new. Mitch, Henry, Hunt, Mooney. Get A-Rob. If you're playing Mitch, like the target share is so condensed to just Mooney and maybe a little bit of Kmet too. But if you're playing Mitch, you got to play A-Rob. He's the highest ceiling on that team. All right, we good?
Yeah. Brian, for
Suck
our
it,
little Cowboys, wager. If the Eagles beat my Cowboys today, I will wear a Carson Wentz jersey, I guess we could call them, on the next live stream, or at least once I order it. I'm going to order it. We'll know by today. I'll order it, and then once it gets here, I'll be able to wear it on a live stream for you, buddy.
All right. Good luck to everybody. Happy holidays. We went late, but whatever. It's a fun slate, I think. Happy Brandon Allen Day.
Wheels up.